All right, we headed out to do the liner job now. First job back since I've had COVID, man. That was rough. Just glad to be back out working. Now, I've had people in the past ask me, when you install a liner and you have to cement them in, what prevents the cement from basically going out of the bottom of the liner? Well, these right here are called packers. This is made for a 5 5/8 inch borehole, and that is made for a 6 1/4 inch borehole. So I'm going to show you right now what these things do. So this here is 6 1/4 inch PVC well casing. This goes all the way down, goes into the bedrock for your well. So this sleeves out all of your dirt. So the reason for a liner is basically this was not installed deep enough. It was installed into, say, sedimentary rock where, you know, surface water can actually escape in, go around the bottom where this was supposed to seal. So that's what this is for. This essentially gets pushed inside of it. You can see how good of a seal it makes, and it goes all the way down into the rock borehole of the well, and then cement is put around this portion of it in order to make it permanent. So we're going to go install one of these today. I'm going to show you the process. So we're going to do something a little different today. I've already did a camera inspection on the well, so I've already seen how bad it is. So we're going to actually do a chemical treatment on the well and use a, basically it's a chimney brush with a weight attached to the bottom of it. And we're going to put it in the well. We're going to scrub the walls of the well to try to get all the barnacles and all the buildup off the well, off the walls.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So this is what we've got. We actually have a buried well. So the well is probably, I don't know, about 12, 16 inches below grade. So that's like #1 problem, because when it rains, this area can fill up with water, and you can kind of tell over there on the side how close the dirt is from the edge of the casing. So it's basically self-contaminating itself. Every time it rains, it washes muddy water into the hole. So when we line it, we're actually going to bring it all the way up above grade. But the first thing we're going to do, we're going to camera it. I'm going to show you where the casing is leaking around 17, 18 feet. And then we're going to pull the pump out. We're going to acid clean the well, chlorinate the well. We're going to brush the well. And then we're going to slip a 4-inch liner in the boot, the packer, down in the hole. And then we're going to basically do a before and after and show you what the water was like before, and then show you what the water's like after. Some weird lines on my screen. You can tell how just milky and discolored that water is. We need to run a whole lot more water. Can we go open up the... Yeah, just, I mean, the closest one, you can probably just run one wide open. It'll be helpful. Yeah, we'll do that in a minute. Just let it keep using. Okay, so there we are. There's our leak. It's not showing up the greatest, but you can see it right there. It's just blasting. It has a weird effect on my camera to camera. Now we're all getting sprayed by the water. Alright, so now that we cambered the well, I showed you where that leak was at. It was like somewhere between like 18 and 20 feet. So we're definitely going to knock out that area of the casing that's leaking. The boot will basically separate the surface water from the actual, you know, clean drinking water. So that's what we're going to go do now. We're going to start the process. We've got to pull the well pump out. Then we're going to put some acid, some chlorine down the well, and we're going to send the brush down the well and basically agitate it, clean it up, and then we're going to slide the sleeve into the hole. First things first, we got to pull that well pump out. We got to disconnect those wires and cut the pipe, and then rip that thing out. So because we're going to extend this above the ground, the pipe down here, we're going to have to cut it and 90 it up and then make our connection up here. So we're just going to go ahead and cut it here and then take our wires. We'll have to extend those as well. Unfortunately, there's not much left for us to work with since it was originally a buried system. If they would have kept our wires about 12 inches longer, it would make this whole thing a little bit easier. Okay, we're going to cut it. Cut it right here. Now we're going to go ahead and pull this thing out. Pull it out, yeah. Go. That's nasty looking.
Yeah.
You got a little dirty.
Oh, it's alright. I'm just glad it didn't slip out my hand.
Yeah, look how nasty that pump is. The amount of iron, red mud, just nasty water getting dumped into that hole. What it does to the pipe and the pump. So you can only imagine what the borehole looks like. When I came here about 3-4 weeks ago and I journeyed on down to the bottom, I got to about 80 feet and I got stopped by that torque arrestor right there with my camera, so I couldn't go any past that. But I saw just how bad the borehole looked in my camera, so that was when I decided I was just going to go ahead and bring my brush and bring my acid and bring my chlorine to where we could do a chemical treatment of the well and actually scrub and agitate the entire well. That way we give it our best shot before we go ahead and slam the liner in. Once we put the liner in the well, that's kind of it. No tool, no device can go down there and do anything. So we're going to go ahead and try to bring it back to life and see what we can get. So this is basically our makeshift well scrub brush. It's just a 6-inch chimney brush, and we've got it on a piece of 3-inch pipe there, and that is basically you got holes drilled in the top and the bottom, and we filled it full of rock. Just, you know, regular old gravel. That way it's some added weight and it helps it pull itself down to the bottom. Real simple. Okay, so what we have here is a big bag of food grade citric acid. It comes from a water well chemistry company. So it's actually used for situations like this. We actually purchased it for a state job for like a campsite. And that was what they made us buy, and we had a lot left over. So I'm gonna go ahead now. I'm gonna put chlorine in the well, just a little bit. And I'm gonna put some of this acid in the well. Then we're gonna put the brush in there, and then we're gonna put some on top of it. Okay. This stuff's so old. Alright, let's go ahead and get the brush. I'm going to take it all the way to the bottom. Nice and slow. Work it up and down. Because that borehole was really, really bad. I mean, it was really bad.
It's sinking right now. Yeah. Still get stuck right there.
That's why we got the weight on it.
Yeah.
You just... It's crazy. You can hear it. It may be like a punched well, where the well kind of goes at a banana.
Yeah.
And it won't go.
Right, I know what you're saying. You didn't want a straight borehole.
If that's the case, it is what it is.
We're further in. So, it looks like it's hitting something. You hear it?
How deep do you think we are? Like 30 feet, maybe?
Maybe. Wow. Yeah, once it fills up with water, then like it's a pipe right there too. Don't it sound like it's hitting something?
It does. It could be like
it's like you said, it's gonna go on. It's a deviated spot with the borehole.
That's crazy. It just won't go.
Boom. You can hear it even echo off the metal. Like a bad spot in the pipe. At least we lined
it could just be that like that many barnacles.
True.
That's keeping it.
True. I didn't see inside there.
It was so bad.
I probably got to go an extra 5 or 10 foot since I'm doing that, and then stop.
You know, when I put the pump back in the well, we're just gonna pump it off.
Right.
So that way we don't send anything.
Right. Well, I was just asking,
but,
like, letting it sit in there now. Is it gonna help us get it cleaner? Or you think as far as it's
I really wanted to hit it with the brush. I knew the brush was gonna do a good job, but I didn't expect the brush not to go to the bottom. Normally it's the reverse.
Right.
The brush typically goes to the bottom really easy.
We'll mark what that is.
No, it's too dirty. You wouldn't see anything at this point.
Right.
I feel like as soon as it gets out of it, it just stops. All right, so my thoughts are maybe the borehole is 5 inch. The casing is 5 5/8. So the borehole below it is smaller, and the brush is 6 inches.
Yeah.
It's made for a 6 1/4 inch well.
Cleaned it up.
Yeah, we cleaned the old casing,
Yeah.
but you know, so that's what I think.
You wanted to hit the whole borehole.
I wanted to go all the way to the bottom.
Right. Well, at least we got the casing cleaned up.
Yeah.
You mean pull it through the casing side?
Now, well, I'm gonna mark it, and then I'll see exactly to what point we'll be clean. Yeah, there we go. Hey, you got a leaf?
Damn. Probably don't want to fuck it up too much.
Nah, it's probably pretty acidic.
Smell it.
Yep, 20 foot, that's it.
That's
So as soon as it gets out of the borehole, or as soon as it gets out of the casing, a 6 inch brush will not go down the borehole. So
the casing looks clean.
we basically figured that part out. All right, so well, is what it is at this point. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna use the smaller packer, which will be that green one, and then we're gonna slam these sticks in the hole. So this is gonna be our giant squeegee. It's gonna squeegee everything all the way down. So this is actually made for the size borehole that we're dealing with. That brush was made for the larger diameter borehole, but we tried it. So now we're gonna go ahead, glue this on to the end of our 4 inch pipe, and we're gonna stand our pipe up in the air. We're gonna slip this down in there. I'm gonna do it all by hand. Yeah, baby. Go around in a circle. Come this way. There you go. Man, that's tight.
they tried to raise it up, screw something to it before. It's my guess.
Another one down past it. It's a tight seal, that's for sure. It's going. It's going. All right, let's put on the orange elevator and then the push bar
takes off.
Yep. All right, we're gonna put on our safety clamp. That way nothing crazy can happen. Go from there. Got it?
Nope.
Damn it.
Yeah, a little rust.
Yeah, they live outside.
We hadn't used them in a while.
Just rotate.
Hey. Whoa.
All it was a screw. Okay. Lift yours. That's good. Should just be able to push down.
Yeah.
There was a seam of the metal casing.
Yep.
All right, rotate.
I remember seeing it. There it goes. I look down in there, you can see it. That could also be leaking too.
Push down.
Definitely gets tighter the further it goes.
Stay close to like right here. Push straight down. Okay, now walk. Trail place. Alright. Turn. Good old tight borehole.
Off a little bit then. You know we're not using water too, so.
Yeah. That'll be the next thing. Okay. It's going. It's going.
Just like that old dude house.
Yep. Alright. Yeah, but that dude had like 80 foot of casing. This thing got a 20 in it.
Yeah. But I mean,
God. Son of a bitch.
keep going, but I'm watching yours and then going fast.
Okay, so full transparency here. We were not able to get this thing no deeper than essentially where the old casing stopped and met the bedrock. As soon as we hit where the steel casing meets the bedrock, this stops. So what that tells me is that the borehole down below is probably like 4.5, maybe 5 inches. It's very small considering the size of the casing pipe. So that is actually the smaller size packer, and it will not go down into the borehole any more than this. So right now we're not able to line it out to 60 feet, but what we are able to do is seal it off roughly 17 feet, and we're gonna cut it above grade so no more surface water will enter the well. And then basically the upper portion will be 4-inch, and then all we can do now is put the pump back in the well. So essentially what we've done here is just raise the casing above the ground level, and we did seal it off in the bottom with the packer, but there's no way to physically push this deeper what I noticed is as we pushed, the borehole went down and then it starts to curve and go over. So it's trying to take this pipe and curve and go over. And there's no way to physically push a rigid piece of 4-inch down something that's shaped like a banana. So because we've got 4-inch casing in the hole now, we have to take this wire guard off because this lip on the pump here is going to catch the bottom of the 4-inch. And we have to take off, well, we already took off the torque arrestor. So I'll just have to basically clean this up, tape it up, and make it look nice and neat. A little bit better than what it looks right now. But yeah, that's some pretty gnarly looking stuff. That's why we were here trying to treat it. At least we did get some chlorine and some acid in the well. What we're gonna do now is stick the pump back in the hole, and we're gonna pump test it for a couple of hours until the water runs clean. And cut about 3 feet off of the pipe, and then situation. Bring back a big roll of tape so we can tape that up. I put new pumps in before in situations like this, and then I plugged them up because the amount of trash that's down in the hole.
Right.
And then it's always best just to leave the old pump in until you're done. When you make it permanent,
Right.
then you can put a new pump on it if he wants to at that point. This is the most important part about putting it in 4-inch. Take the damn wire guard off, because you'll never get the damn thing out. I ain't even worried about it. It's so freaking nasty.
It's really on right here. All the bad shit.
All right. Okey-doke. Now we're just gonna pump it for a couple hours. All right, so I have hooked up the wires and we are ready to start the pump test. I'm gonna go in the basement now and turn on the breaker and see what the water looks like to start with. So these were his filters that he had, and he said that they would stop up in about 10 minutes of use. Now, most of y'all have probably seen this filter system sold on Amazon for like $600. Yep. Good deal. Is that a single breaker or a double breaker? Double. Okay, cool. And make sure this ain't a low pressure cutout switch. It's not. Okay, good. Yeah. So that's the filter system. All right, now that we've got the breaker on, look at the color of the water. Would you like to live on with that? That's just absolutely disgusting. We're gonna let this run for a little while and see if we can get it to clean up. Because right now, with all the rain that we've had here in our area, the water in the well is really nasty. So it's not raining today, so theoretically there's not gonna be any, you know, muddy water pouring into the hole mixing. And now that we have the boot down there, it separates the two. So the only thing we should get now is the water coming out of the aquifer. We just have to basically pump it out to get it to clear up to where we can actually see if the water that's coming in from the aquifer is actually clear, which I believe it is. I believe if we let this run for long enough, it'll clear up. Let's see what happens. All right, it's been about 10 minutes, and boy, oh boy, look at the color of that water. That is just absolutely disgusting. Okay, it has been exactly 1.5 hours since we have started pump testing the well. We just came back and we're gonna go take a look at the water. Out, Briar. Still not 100%, but a whole hell of a lot better than what it was. We'll give it a little bit more time and she'll clear up. Time for the final result. Okay, so at this point, it's been almost 3 hours since we've been pump testing the well. Hooked it all up. I'm gonna go ahead now. We're gonna turn the breaker on. Then we're gonna go out to the yard hydrant and we're gonna see the clarity of the water. So if you remember what the water looked like when we very first started pump testing it, how red it looked, it was kind of like tomato soup. Let me show you what it looks like now. Okay, here we are, moment of truth. Hot dog, look at that. Oh lordy. Couldn't be no more happier with that product right there. We'll make a happy customer out of him yet. Look how beautiful that looks.